Alright guys, welcome back to georgehealth.com, the George Health channel. This video is going to talk about muscle fiber types. It's kind of the third video of the first, the trio that I've made. You don't have to watch the first two, but it's recommended. The first video you may have already watched, it's Know Your Muscle, Grow Your Muscle, talks about how muscles actually work. Good scientific explanation for that, which people have liked. The second one is going into more about the ATP, the adenosine triphosphate, that fuels and is required for muscle contraction, and how we can replenish that quickly and efficiently to get the muscle working better. And then the third, which is we're doing today, is all about muscle fiber types, because they're actually different types of muscle fiber, and different muscle types are good for different goals. And if you're not training for the right type of muscle and you're developing the wrong type of muscle in your body, you may not be working to achieve your goals. You may be actually conflicting yourself. Yep, dog, great. Let's go into it. So the two different muscle fiber types we got fast twitch and slow twitch. They're the different types. The twitch being when a brain sends a signal to the muscle, it causes that little twitch, that little quick contraction of the muscle fibers, and the faster you cause those twitches, you get fast twitch and you get slow twitch. Okay, so let's talk about slow twitch first. So slow twitch muscle fibers produce a slow, steady, low intensity output that can be sustained for a long period of time. So endurance athletes, runners, marathon runners, people that need to be able to use their muscles over a long period of time have predominantly slow twitch muscle fibers. Why are they good at endurance? Is because the cells themselves are actually made up of a high density of mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell that uses oxygen. So these muscles are actually quite red in color. They're not very big, which is why you see marathon runners, not like big bodybuilders. But they got this mitochondria in the cell which uses oxygen, and it also takes energy from fat. It's quite good at using fat and the oxygen together to produce the ATP needed for muscle contraction. And because it uses the fat and the oxygen, it's quite a slow chemical reaction, and that's why it's slow twitch. So it can produce, a good amount of energy over a long period of time. It can produce a lot of energy over a long period of time, but it takes time to produce all that energy because of the time it takes for the fat and the oxygen to do their thing and create an output of ATP. So it's kind of like, coal or wood burning on a fire. It takes time to burn. It's a slow, steady, but strong output. Got a very high resistance to fatigue. So, it takes a long time to tire them out, which is why even after a brutal, leg run, you can still kind of walk. They're really good at, staying strong for a long period of time. They've got a high liability to be recruited, because if you think about it, any activity or any muscle contraction that's low in intensity is going to use slow twitch muscle fibers first. So let's say we're lifting a pencil. We're only recruiting slow twitch muscle fibers in our body to lift that pencil. If we are doing 20 reps in the gym, bicep curls or a chest press, we are only going to recruit, the body's only going to recruit as much as needed to get the job done. And it wants to use slow twitch muscle fibers as a priority first. It wants to use slow twitch muscle fibers first. One of the main reasons for that is actually they're very strong against injury. They're not very prone to injury. They're very, very good at being resistant to that. So they're a safe bet, effectively. This is why if you do training that's aerobic in nature, i.e. something that's below 70 or so %, max heart rate, something that you can sustain for an hour, anything you can sustain for an hour is going to be an endurance thing. Doing running, cardio, things like that, or high rep exercises, we're talking like 15 reps or more, 15 rep max or more, you're training slow twitch muscle fibers, and that's what you're going to grow. And that's the adaptation that you're signaling to your body to develop, and that's what you're telling your body to grow. And your body is going to adapt. It's called adaptive training, and it's going to adapt to help you do that activity better and more efficiently, and it does that by developing slow twitch muscle fibers. If you want to go for muscle size, strength, or power, then if you're doing 15 reps, you're doing too many reps, okay? And you're training for endurance when you should be training the high twitch muscle fibers, or the fast twitch muscle fibers, which is your strength and your power and your muscle size. So now we've talked about slow twitch muscle fibers, let's talk about fast twitch muscle fibers. So when you up the intensity, you up the weight, then your body says it's recruiting more and more muscle fibers in your body. It's like you're on a tug of war and you're not making any headway, so you bring in a few of your mates and they join you and other people join you, and eventually you've got everyone on the tug of war, you know. So the body will recruit as many as muscle fibers as needed to get the job done. And if something is really, really heavy, then it will recruit all the muscle fibers in the muscle belly. And that's when your fast twitch muscle fibers come into play, okay? They're the kind of the big, strong mates that will come in right at the end and really give you a boost. So when strength and power are needed, fast twitch muscle fibers are recruited. And so because of that, they're recruited for high intensity but short duration work, okay? They're not going to be able to go very long. They're going to give it everything and they're going to really give a high output of power, but it's not going to last very long. So this is something like 100-meter sprint is high intensity. Even something like swinging a golf club is using everything you've got in a very short period of time. That's going to recruit your fast twitch muscle fibers. The cells themselves, we'll talk about now, they don't have mitochondria really in them. There's a low myoglobin content. And they're quite white in color, relatively speaking to the slow twitch, but they're much bigger, you know, because they've got to be able to store a load of ATP ready to go in the muscle, you know, for all just immediate action. They're very, very big because they've got a big storage capacity for ATP. They can have immediate energy ready to go because they don't have the mitochondria to be able to use fat and oxygen to produce a slow replenishment. So good for glycogen and good for ready to use ATP. That's why they're so big. So if you want to train for size, like muscular size, hypertrophy, then you want to do fast twitch muscle fiber training. I don't believe this today. It's just crazy distractions. But the thing with fast twitch muscle fibers, as I said, is they get lactic acid build up quickly, which is what I talked about in the last video. They burn out quickly. They're very, very prone to injury because it's a very high stress environment, and they're very easy to fatigue. They don't last very long, which is why a 100-meter sprint, you can give it everything, but you can't go much further than that. Doing anything less than 10 reps, or just going to a training to failure, would do high intensity. So even if it's a 15 rep max, it could train for high intensity, although it's actually better if you were to train for something like 4 to 6 reps for strength, where you fail at 4 to 6, or if you do 8 to 12 reps, then you're going to be training for muscle size a bit more. So overall, make sure you use this information to do the right kind of training for the right muscle fiber type. If you want endurance, if you want to be able to sustain an activity for a long period of time, you need to do endurance training. You need to use more than 15 reps max, so a lower weight but higher reps in your weightlifting program. And you need to, stay away from doing the high intensity stuff, okay? You want to be able to just stick to the lower intensity stuff, but going for a long period of time. If you want muscle size, okay, we want to train for 8 to 12 reps, but you need to make sure you train at or very close to failure, okay? So if you, do 8 to 12 reps, but you could actually, if you really were pushed to do it, you could do 15, then you're not training type 2 muscle fibers. You're just using you're still using the weight of endurance training, so you need to go heavier. Make sure you really are training with intensity. If you want to train for strength and power, you need to go even heavier, down to the 4 to 6 rep range, where you can only do 4. It's a very, very short period of activity, and you're giving everything you've got in just 4 reps. And that will just give a massive stimulation, because once the slow twitch muscle fibers come in, but it's not enough, it's just weight's still not moving yet, it will bring in the fast muscle twitch fibers, and the entire muscle belly will be recruited, and it's going to cause a massive reaction and really build strength. At the same time, just as a final note, you don't want to be too rigid. Sometimes it's good to have a bit of endurance in the muscle and a degree of slow twitch muscle fibers, because it will mean you've got good muscular health. It will mean you'll have good endurance as well. You kind of want a balance of things. You want a balance of strength and power, but also endurance, if you're training as just a general health size kind of guy. If you just want to go to the gym, look a bit better, feel a bit better, and have general overall health, you're not training for a specific competition or sport, then you definitely want to get a bit of everything. So stick in the 8 to 12 rep range if that's the case, but every now and then, push yourself a little bit and go down in the reps for a little bit. And then maybe some other weeks or maybe some other days or maybe even at the end of the workout, just chuck in a bit of higher rep stuff to finish it off and burn it out. And it'll be really good because it will build, your ability to do a lot of different things at once. So you're not going to be too tailored. So it depends on the situation. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed that. Bit of rambling on, bit of everywhere, just kind of said it as it came out of my head. If you did find that useful though, please give it a like, subscribe, there's some more stuff coming. I might check out a motivation video soon if you guys are up for that. Also going to be maybe talking about intermittent fasting, maybe talk about keto diets. What was the other one people were asking for? I don't know, but drop some comments below with any suggestions that you have and I'll do that as well. And whatever you suggest, I'll do it. Have a great day, guys. See ya.